Hello everyone, this is Ziki and I want to apologize because I have not shared some videos for the past few days because I've been caught up with some, deadlines, some things that needed to be done, all right. But anyway, I'm going to give you all the updates, in detail over the weekend. So today I just decided to show my face. I know there are so many stories. We've got socialites being arrested. We have another socialite begging for a car from from say Wicknell, and we also have some the arresting, of some prominent people. There are so many stories that are trending in Zimbabwe, in South Africa. We also have some stories from Zambia. So many of them, all right. There are so many. Let me just tell you briefly some of the things that I have, but I've not prepared my. That is why I didn't want to talk about those stories, all right. So now we've got Chipo, the trouble causer. She was arrested. It is alleged that she bought clothes on credit and she failed to pay. So the owner of the clothes then said, well, please give me my money or give me back the clothes. So I think in the process of asking for, for their money and, Chipo responding, there was some altercation that happened and she's being charged with, assault and other things. So I've been following up on that story. She appeared in the courts today. Like I said, I have not, gotten the update right now of where the story is, but that's another story of the comedian Chipo the trouble causer, regarding buying clothes and then failing to pay and then, ending up assaulting the seller. All right. And then another story that we have, of course, the popular, popular socialite and comedian, she came out of social media asking, and tagging, say with me that, well, don't forget me in terms of the aquas and all the cars that you're giving others, please remember me. I mean, we already know that a lot of people have been given these cars. Some are still begging, others they've not yet received. So, sometimes when everybody else is receiving and you feel like, maybe you're being skipped or something like that, you might make a joke out of something, but actually really asking for something, it happens. But anyway, we know that the Chiva issue has been trending and trending, is continuously trending on social media, right? And then we also have another one of the new farm in Rushaya. I think most of us we know in Rushaya. She is the president of the Zimbabwean Mining Federation. And you might also recall that she was once arrested, in terms of gold issues. Now she also has been arrested, and the Zimbabwe Public Police also confirmed her arrest in terms of another business deal that failed, to work properly with an Indian business person. So details are not yet out, but yeah, the Zimbabwe Public Police, confirmed on their Twitter handle the issue, okay, about, the regulator being arrested. And of course, we saw some other news saying, well, she has been, released on $500 bail. Okay, so she's on bail right now. So currently, I have opened, X so that I can be seeing some other trending stories that are there on X. Okay, so we see there are so many stories there. We saw our president of Zambia appearing on CNN saying that, well, Zambia is experiencing a drought that they have never experienced before. Okay, said maybe in 100 years, they've never experienced such a bad drought like the one that they experience right now. So I think he came out, asking for whoever stakeholders, the country, whoever can, other countries who can help Zambia because they are in a drought. As you already know that, drought was predicted for Southern Africa because of El Nino. Zimbabwe is also going through the similar situation in all other southern countries, they are all in the same bracket. So that's another story that I'm going to give you in detail over the weekend, when, like I said, I put everything in one place. Also, we saw the MK party, that is Mkoto season, led by, Jacob Zuma there. They also came out, addressing the people, and also, thanking the people who came out in solidarity and also asking other people to stand by them because they still have some issues that are in the courts. That as well is another, type of, training story that we're going to cover over the weekend. We're going to give you details of what they said, where they are, and the stages of everything that they're doing in their part in terms of campaigning. EFF as well. We saw EFF again, holding should you say a rally or something? So again, that story we have it. We are going to compile some others. So you see, there are many training stories. However, right now I wasn't prepared for that. When I'm coming to give you these stories, I usually come out prepared with my notes, with everything for you guys, so that I give you detailed stories, detailed things, all right? And also we saw in in Russia, putting women again, okay? And we saw the Zimbabwean delegation led by Priscilla Chigumba coming out to say, well, the elections were free and fair, and this and that. And that's also trending again, when talking about our current affairs. So, like I said, there are so many stories, I came across another one where they say, well, it seems like the USA has already implemented the visa ban on some people who were listed, on that list, as we know, some government officials were refused entry into USA, that again is another story that is out there. There are so many of them. Like, remember, I told you that I am not getting back into politics, especially Zimbabwean politics. However, I'm only coming out to comment on trending stories. They can be football, can be social media, can be, can be current affairs, can be anything. But the only thing that I'm avoiding to give news and analysis and everything is political news, especially involving Zimbabwe. Those things I am already out of it, I'm already out of it. That is the reason why you've seen that now I make commentary on different other aspects, like the Baba Ishmael story. Baba Ishmael story is trending number one in Zimbabwe because what came out of that story and how it's breaking out and other things that have been said, there are so many of them, okay? I'm still waiting for permission to use some journalists' videos because they're the ones who are on the ground. I am not on the ground, so I need permission to analyze their videos so that I can be showing some place. But all I can tell you when it comes to Baba Ishmael is, number one, there's a lot of women abuse that is going on there, of which we already know these things are not new when it comes to Mapostors. Mapostors are known for how they do with women, how they treat their women, and how they treat children. It's also known. Their hospitals, that is also known. It's not something new. Their children, in terms of education and everything, that also we already know what Mapostors do in terms of child marriages. We know that Mapostors have been doing that over and over again. But so there are so many other issues right now in terms of people who are dying and not being recorded or properly registered. The countries do have census, so they need to know who is dead and who is alive. And also, people usually do identity theft. Some people may be committing crime and then they use the identities of those who have already passed, because these people, they are not in the system. So I think those are some of the issues that we can be of, importance when we are talking about Mazbaba Ishmael's case, all right? And then we also have issues to do with the marriages, people who are married, and then these people, they're made to sleep in the same bed, two women with one man, not because they're having a threesome or not because these women want to be in that position of sleeping or sharing bed, but because this is what Baba Ishmael is saying, well, stay together, live together, be like that. If a woman wants to raise their head or want to be, like they think or they know a lot, Baba Ishmael say, well, that is not proper. Deal with that woman. So we've seen a lot of reports in terms of women abuse, child abuse, and child marriages. In terms of child abuse, well, but they are arguing that it's not necessarily child abuse, but in fact, it's like we want to teach the children to do mabasa emawoko instead of them going to conventional schools where they'll be taught, algorithms and algebra and all this kind of stuff. They say they would rather teach them how to farm, how to rear cattle, how to look to rear fish, how to farm, and how to do welding, all this kind of stuff. Those are the things they would rather have their children learn about than their children go to conventional schools where they're taught to to read, to read who, I would say which books? Oliver Twist, I would just use Oliver Twist rather than for the children to go and learn Oliver Twist and learn about the Vasco da Gama. They would rather have the children learn about farming and everything. So these are some of the things that they were being raised by advocates and, women advocates, children advocates, and lawyers, that this is something that is not right. A child has to go to school. Every child has the right to education. Every child has the right to proper sanitation, to health care, and everything. But again, like I'm bringing you again this story, I'm saying these things have been happening long time ago. It's not something new. It's only that now Mazbaba has been arrested and everything, but these things have been happening. We already knew about these things in our communities. We already know that these things have been happening. So it's only now that people are saying, well, it's like people are pretending to shamisika with something that they already know has been happening. These things have been happening in child marriages have been happening, but no implementation has been done to stop it. Children have not been going to, they don't go to hospitals and everything. So people are just pretending like it's something new, something that has not been happening. It has been there, only that the implementation of, stopping those things has not been very, very tough, you understand? But yeah, Mazbaba for Kenan, we've had them, more and more videos are coming out of how other people lost their children, how women have been suffering giving birth, the antenatal, all those kind of stories have been coming out from Mazibaba Ishmael, And then recently there is the story of an old woman in Harare who is also being abused. They are coming to her house. She said she had been made to put a manhood, the prophetess manhood in her mouth and all this. So that particular story, again, I'm waiting for permission to use the clip for my analysis, okay? And I'm going to bring you that story maybe tomorrow since it's Friday, or on weekend. Like I said, this is when I want to bring you all the stories. Because that story really touched me in the sense that people might think this woman is crazy. People might think that is this woman who uses mushonga or juju or something. But if it comes to the issue of having a manhood being put in her mouth, being forced to put someone's manhood in her mouth, I think that also needs to be looked at. She might be crazy, she might be mentally disturbed or everything, but we might also not also overlook the fact that she might indeed be abused, She might be abused currently because she was narrating a story of everything that is transpiring, everything that is going on. So that is another story that is trending on social media, the issue of the grandmother, whom a lot of people are saying, well, maybe she's mentally disabled, but others feeling sorry for her, she's being abused and a lot of things happening to her. I came across that story again. So, like I said, many of those stories I'm going to be able to analyze them with the visuals after I get permission from the owners of the content. We don't want to plagiarize other people's work and then just don't give credit to them. Okay, so that's it. So this is all I have for you, my friends. Please take care wherever you are. Just be kind. Just do whatever you need to do. We know that 2024 is a very, very difficult year, but it's not, we've been having difficulties over the years, but if it's a drought, then the difficulties tend to increase, you understand? Things tend to get even more and more worse and worse and worse. So let's continue doing whatever we can do, to make sure that our families are fed, to make sure that, things go well. And let's do it without turning criminal in the process. And also we know that South Africa elections are coming up again, like I said in briefly what I spoke about, the rallies that are going on, more stories that are in the courts, and analysts talking about Zimbabwe buying water from South Africa, people not liking it. Others saying, well, how can South Africa buy water from Zimbabwe? This is so embarrassing. It shows the incompetences of ANC. It shows the corruption in ANC. And then with a group of people saying, why is Zimbabwe selling water to South Africa? And yet the Zimbabweans themselves, they don't have water. Their taps are dry. There's cholera because of poor water services, Bedford doesn't have water, Bulawayo doesn't have water and everything. So the issue of buying water from Zimbabwe is also been trending. I have seen some podcasters coming out talking about the issue, saying, why? What is going on? There's recently a podcast that I came across who was actually pointing out that the ANC is saying they want to buy water from Zimbabwe, and they're saying buying water from Zimbabwe is cheap. But is it even cheap? And they're saying, well, why were they not, looking at the Messina, knowing that it doesn't have water? Why it took so long? They're now just doing it now because of elections, they want to pretend as if they care. So a lot of things have been said again when it comes to Zimbabwe to South Africa buying water from Zimbabwe. And also we saw some people coming out, well, Zimbabwe is also buying electricity from South Africa. So it's a win-win situation, you understand? Now we're also seeing the Africa Games that are going on right now. South Africa winning, collecting those medals, Zimbabwe in athletics, in swimming, and then we're seeing some in Nigeria in terms of athletics. A lot of interesting things that are happening, in Ghana there, all Africa Games. Very, very interesting games. For those of you who have not been following on sports, you have to follow all Africa Games there. Very, very interesting. It's like you're watching the Olympics, the competitiveness of those athletes that are there football, tennis. I've been enjoying athletics very much. Yesterday, there were some hurdles, there were 100 meters, 400 meters. Very, very interesting day. Very, very interesting. I've been following quite a lot. And we also have a football tournament that is currently happening in Malawi, where suppose it's featuring Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Kenya. Yes, it's a four-day tournament that is happening in Malawi right now. So another interesting thing there for those of you who love football. Yesterday we saw the Zimbabwean under-20 being beaten by Malawi 2-3. Okay, so we're going to see more and more games that are going to be played as well. And this weekend with a lot of football that is also coming up. We also have the EPL. We also have another football game that is a lot of people are looking forward to. That is Yada taking on Bikita. Is it Bikita what? I wanted to say Bikita United. I'm forgetting, you know. So those are all the stories that are trending. As you can see, everything is in my head. Like, you know, I put all these things in my head. Like, I know these stories. So that is why I said, when I come on weekends, you know, with all these stories, you're going to see that we have got plans. So all these things that I've been telling you, these are just things that I've read through over the week, you know, putting them in my head and everything so that, you know, when I start to narrate them to you guys, you all know that Ziggy is up to something. I follow all the trending stories that you might want to have, all the trending stories, just to know that I have them right. So this is all I have for you, my friends. Please take care wherever you are, whatever you are doing. Subscribe and stay so that you don't miss on this and more. Like I said today, a little bit busy. I've got a lot of deadlines to meet, but I'm trying to strive. I'm trying to push. You know, every day is a hustle. Every day is an opportunity for us to push and push and push and push and push and push. Put it, put it. Okay. Okay. By the way, just on the sidelines, I was listening to Amapiano. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. I came across this song. I think it was sung by, I'm forgetting the singer, Amapiano. You know that song is so interesting. I didn't know. I didn't know that, you know, if you pay attention, your mind. I was in the train when I was listening to this song. So I started to do. So everybody was looking at me like, what is this black woman doing? You know, because I was like jamming like crazy, jamming. I was like, so you know, when you're putting your earphones, so let me show you my earphones. They're very, very powerful. They are very, very powerful. These ones, you know, I'm very sensitive to those ones that you put inside it. So I usually use these. Okay, they are very, very powerful. So I was putting this jamming, you know. Let me just show you how I was working. Okay, so you have to put them like this. I love these ones. They are hi-fi, 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 hi-fi. These are very, very strong. So I love these ones where you can put like this because they don't affect me. I don't want to use the Bluetooth ones. I have them, but I don't like use. I like this one. So these ones, the noise is like they like they have sort of a hoover, sort of a hoover. There's something like it makes the music to come up. So I was like, so I was like trying to join the whatever the dance they do. That dance they do of one side, you know, one leg up like this. So I was going in the subway. So I forgot like I'm where a lot of people are. So I was like jamming. I was like, wow. I didn't know Amapiano is so interesting when you pay attention to it. You guys, you have to recommend for me some Amapiano songs. I think over the weekend I'm going to be playing jamming in my house. You need to recommend Amapiano because I never knew that those songs can be so interesting. Because I found myself just, and you know, you have to put some attitude on your face. I was like, well, here we go. Here we go. I didn't know it's so interesting like that. Unfortunately, I cannot dance, but I think when I'm in my house, I can try to move a little bit. But one thing for sure is, as long as I'm not dancing in my body and my movement and my hands and everything, I will be jamming, baby. I'll be going. You know, I was like, look, I was like, wow, man, I've never really enjoyed a piano like what I did today. think it's because I was in the train, I was tired and everything, so I got enough time to listen to. But anyway, just having fun with you, my friends. Okay, please recommend for me piano songs I want to listen during the weekend. Until then, take care. Let's put this in here.